I am Maria Garcia de Fleury. On August 30th, 1617, who we know as Sainte Rose of Lima, died at the age of 31. She was born to parents of Spanish descent in Lima, in what was the viceroyalty of Peru, at a time when South America was in its first century of evangelization. Her name was Isabel Flores de Oliva, and she was so beautiful that her relatives compared her to a rose, and from there they gave her the nickname Rose. Since she was little, she was a very devoted girl to Jesus Christ in the Eucharist and to the Blessed Virgin Mary. When her parents had financial problems, she worked in the garden during the day and sewed at night. Her parents tried to marry her to a wealthy man, but she firmly refused. This cost her several years of struggle. Her parents refused to let her enter a convent, and out of obedience, she continued her life at home. But she was dedicated to prayer, meditation, and penance. Because her beauty was so admired, she cut her hair short and frequently rubbed her face with pepper to produce spots that made her ugly. She became a member of the Third Order of St. Dominic. That is, she was not a nun, but a laywoman who lived in the world and participated in the religious spirit of the Dominicans, seeking Christian perfection while in the world. Thus, she gave her life to God and for the love of God to the poor and needed, even though many mocked her. At one time, she would put a thick silver diadem on her head with a crown of thorns on the inside and thus suffer for Christ without people noticing. Rose installed a room in the house where she educated children and cared for the elderly and sick. This was the beginning of social services in Peru. Despite having little education, Rose was not theologically ignorant. Her knowledge about God was obtained from her meditations and reflections, readings and conversations. All of this led her to be a very profound person in religious topics and caused admiration when she spoke or debated theological topics, especially because everyone knew that she had no higher education. Saint Rose of Lima became so important because of her deep religious spirituality, the impact of her social work, and the miracles attributed to her. Saint Rose continues to inspire many. She teaches us not to get attached to worldly things, to develop a great love for the Blessed Sacrament, because it is with the strength that we receive from Christ through His Church that we can do some good in the world. Saint Rose of Lima has a special place in history as the first saint of America. Furthermore, during the Viceroyalty, she was proclaimed patron saint of America and the Philippines by Pope Clement X, and her influence reached other nations. Her miracles maintained the faith of thousands of believers. She had the gifts of healing and connecting skeptics, non-believers, with the path of religion. When she died at the age of 31, the entire city came to her funeral. Prominent men took turns carrying her coffin because everyone realized that a life dedicated to God is a very productive life because with God, we always win.